So the purpose of this meeting is for these experts to review each of the 47 indicators to make sure that we have the correct data, we have the correct methodologies, because the whole purpose is to make sure that we increasingly produce a report that is credible, that is based on credible data, accurate data, so that the recommendations which are in that report, people can have confidence in those recommendations because they know the process behind the data and the recommendations is credible and robust.
You know that inside the biannual report, you have some indicators. So countries need to respect the indicators or to do their best to be in compliance with those indicators. It's not very easy for many countries because, you know, food security sometimes goes with irrigated perimeters because in order to tackle the negative impact of climate change.
Thanks to the African Union and NEPA that led the continent to gather what we call the common position that informed the UN. So at least there was a unanimous engagement from the continent led by the African Union, the UN systems, through the common position. And we have instructions from the UN, from the African Union common position in terms of what did they say about CADA, because we needed to answer those particular questions. And one of the commitments that AU, through the member states, put to the UN food systems on commitment number 72 and subsection 4, they say they would want to enhance the continental accountability mechanism of the food systems through the CADA biennial review mechanism.
We are going to have national consultations. These national consultations are going to draw people from various sectors, from various organizations. So we hope then that that will be the time for us to have all our views on this continental agenda.
Juste mon commentaire, c'est par rapport, ou plutôt ma question à Agnès, c'est par rapport aux mesures, si vous avez discuté des mesures aux dispositions pour vraiment donc vérifier avec les pays qui ont des plans ou quelque chose comme ça, mais pas avec la dénomination NICE. Donc, comment vraiment il faut envisager ça donc, pour vérifier et si c'est à faire, donc il faut vraiment planifier ça pour que ça soit prêt pour le BR4.
So we are basically meeting today to get the feedback from the technical working groups. This week is not about starting another critical analysis, because our understanding is that the critical analysis is 80%, 90% completed in the technical working groups. And we are getting the feedback from the technical working group here this week to build consensus.
Africa needs to create its own narrative, not to be apologetic around other people's narrative. What other people have contributed and caused in other places should not be for us to apologize about, but should be for us to say this is our agenda.
This is beyond just integrating new indicators. It's a recognition that to achieve the target, we need different components in that system. So we have different components, and this is one way of disaggregating the food system or whatever we're calling it. It's very important to understand that we need livestock, we need crop, we need small-scale farmers, we need those to make sure that we achieve the overall common goal.
We have come up with 99 indicators on food systems transformation, which are still work in progress. I think there's been some consultations in Africa on these indicators. We need to integrate and probably work as one so that at least the indicators speak to each other. Then we come up with one framework of indicators.
I should also mention that this process is perhaps for many of us an exemplary process, the BR process. And in many of our meetings now, we're actually looking at it to say there's so much that we've done so well in this process, to the extent that it should already be a template in terms of, you know, showing us how we can do many other things that are pressing around the transformation of agriculture, how we can do that well. We're already looking at the lessons that will come from this, because we all agree that this is not the end of the process. It's good work, but this is not the end of the process. There's a long road ahead of us in terms of how we want to transform agriculture on the continent.
If the Agenda 2063 make a new 10 years planning, and then we're going to have another cycle of the CADEP planning also, that need to be aligned with the Agenda 2063.
By implementing CADEP, you're implementing Agenda 2063. Yes. So all the CADEP plans, business plan, whatever, is actually part of implementing Agenda 2063.